A wise man will always look for the best ways to become stronger. Making massive changes in certain circumstances has a certain group of people who may feel delighted, but at the same time, there may be other groups of people who will feel tampered. Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré has done massive changes which, with a vigilant eye, create a lot of tension between the captain and various groups of people, both internally and externally. Everything in Burkina Faso is deeply based on security, both for the country and President Ibrahim Traoré himself. When you are looking for an opponent to fight a tiger, the best one will always be a fellow tiger. Everyone knows that President Ibrahim Traoré isn't in good terms with Western powers, mainly France, the United States among others, due to a number of reasons you may be familiar with. A number of West African countries are facing a major problem of insurgency, where a number of terrorist groups are causing severe unrest in different regions of the countries. The problem of insurgency has been linked to the Western powers, who are looked at as practitioners of neo-colonialism, in which they don't look for a mutual benefit between them and their former African colonies, but rather focus on exploitation when a number of African countries are left suffering. Now, new lions of Africa are rising into leadership to change this way of doing things. But in doing so, they have to look for all possible means in order to do not mess up things. When you want to fight an enemy who may seem stronger than you, become friends with his or her matching enemy. This is what President Ibrahim Traoré has done, and continuing to make all possible alliances in order to effectively execute his plans. What was looked at as a promise is now officially becoming a reality. Russian soldiers are seriously guarding President Ibrahim Traoré from any possible attack on the captain. Recently, at the event where President Ibrahim Traoré attended to unleash a number of medical equipment for use in treatment of various diseases, Russian soldiers were spotted fully dressed in Russian military attires. Russia being at the forefront of major allies with Burkina Faso, President Vladimir Putin, together with his ministers, promised to protect the captain and his citizens at all costs. A contingent of Russian military personnel flew into Burkina Faso's capital Ouagadougou at the beginning of 2024, in what appeared to be the first significant deployment of Russian troops to the country. Sources revealed that this group of 100 servicemen had flown to Burkina Faso to ensure the safety of the country's leader Ibrahim Traoré and the Burkinabe people. Furthermore, more 200 soldiers were to be deployed later, according to promise from Moscow. At the beginning of June 2024, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov pledged more support to Burkina Faso in fighting militant groups in an attempt to fill a vacuum left by the region's traditional Western partners. Russian instructors have been working here and their number will increase, Lavrov said, adding that Russia has been helping train Burkina Faso's military and law enforcement personnel. We have supplied and will continue to supply military equipment to help strengthen Burkina Faso's defense capability and allow it to eliminate the remaining terrorist groups. Through Russia's new Africa Corps, which was reorganized from Wagner Group, which since 2017, Russia had used as a low-cost strategy to increase its foothold in Africa. After the death of Prigozhin, there were questions about Wagner's future and its presence in Africa. Wagner had branded into a unique entity under the leadership of Prigozhin and Dmitriyukin, who died in the same plane crash. It had spread its operations to the Middle East, Syria, Latin America, Venezuela, and Africa, Central African Republic, Mali, Sudan, Libya, Mozambique, and Madagascar. Russia's move to create the Africa Corps can be analyzed from two possibly overlapping perspectives. First, by controlling Africa Corps, Moscow could be trying to avoid past mistakes. Wagner's autonomy and power led to a supremacy battle between Prigozhin and senior Russian defense officials. As I earlier said, when you have an enemy stronger than you, become friends with his matching enemy. This is the only possible way President Ibrahim Traoré can take in order to keep safe from any coup attempts. As it is now in glass that Burkina Faso under President Ibrahim Traoré parted ways with the West, the captain knows that it was a bold move which needed backup. Security in Burkina Faso is really a major concern which needs to be taken seriously. So with the presence of Russian soldiers, President Ibrahim Traoré together with Burkinabés feel pretty relieved. Together with the presence of Russian soldiers, President Ibrahim Traoré is well equipped with increasing military equipment and weapons he is obtaining from the new allies Burkina Faso is forming. Among the weapons and equipment are the lethal drones from Turkey. The two Akinci drones are part of a larger haul, which includes 5 Bayraktar TB2s as well as assorted guided and unguided munitions. These deliveries show the growing reliance on Turkish-made military products and also signifying that Africa is a new market for Turkish defense firms. These drones have given the required confidence for both President Ibrahim Traoré and the military of Burkina Faso in a way they terminate terrorists. Russian military cargo planes carrying Russian military personnel and equipment are able to fly from Bamako, Mali, to Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso to carry out military operations against terrorist groups in the country. The Burkina army is becoming stronger through the training it receives from the Russian trainers. This is evident through a number of successful missions the Burkina army has managed to execute successfully. A number of military coups against President Ibrahim Traoré declare the increasing need for more advanced protection for the captain. Certain African leaders are accused by the captain of coming out directly to collaborate with the West to attack him. The citizens of Burkina Faso have also followed the route to protect President Ibrahim Traoré by coming out also directly to attack the French embassy, which they feel its proximity to the presidential palace housing the captain poses a major risk. The 3 Sahel alliance leaders have put much trust in Russian soldiers as backbone for the successful execution of their plans, which are looked at as opposite to the West powers' interests. President Vladimir Putin is looking forward to gain much-needed influence in Africa. In this, he greatly knows that leaders who are turning away from the West are in urgent need of protection from alternative sources. Going on to include Russian soldiers among the Presidential Protection Unit is a huge step and serious indicator of how the captain is targeted by opponents. What do you think about Russian soldiers in Burkina Faso? Don't forget to subscribe and also leave a like for this video.